There's a smell to a high-rise construction site that sticks to your skin and clothes. Diesel fumes, curing agents, sweat, and the metallic tang of rebar baking in the sun mix into a scent most call stench. To me, Cooper Morgan, it smells like progress. I stood on the edge of the 30th floor, the wind whipping my orange safety vest against my ribs. 40 minutes to the biggest pour of the Skyline project. This wasn't just any slab. This was the cantilevered observation deck. A structural marvel demanding a precise concrete mix, exact pump pressure, and unwavering patience. Pressure gauge steady at 280 bar. Matthew's voice crackled over the radio. Matthew was down on the street, manning the massive pump truck that looked like a giant mechanical mantis. He was the best operator in the city, but the mix felt thick. Slump barely 3. It would be a fight to get it up here. Keep it steady, Matt. Do not force it, I replied, pressing the talk button on my shoulder mic. Rush this aggregate, and we get air pockets. Air pockets mean structural failure. We pour at my pace. I checked my watch. 10:15 a.m. On schedule. Barely. I turned to check the formwork one last time. Asher, the junior engineer, knelt by a rebar junction, pale and trembling, fresh out of college, terrified of mistakes. He checked the ties with shaking hands. Relax, Ash, I said, stepping over a bundle of tension cables. The steel is good. I checked it myself at 6 a.m. Trust your eyes. It's not the steel I'm worried about, he whispered, standing. His gaze shifted to the temporary hoist. The cage door rattled open with a clang that echoed across the deck. Italian leather shoes appeared, completely useless on this dusty, debris-covered site. Tyler Reed walked out like he owned the air we breathed. 28, project manager, arrogance included. The owner's son parachuted in to modernize the company. In 3 months, he tried to switch safety suppliers to cheaper options, cut break times. I had blocked him twice. He wasn't smiling. Cooper, he shouted, bypassing the safety check entirely, flanked by 2 nervous assistants with clipboards. Why isn't the boom swinging? Schedule says concrete hits the deck at 10 a.m. sharp. It's 10:17. I kept my face neutral. I've been pouring high-rises since Tyler was in diapers. The mix is tight. If we pump too fast, we risk blowouts or bad cures. We start when the chemistry says we start. Tyler stopped 2 feet from me. Expensive cologne, impatience, oversized gold watch tapping. The chemistry doesn't pay the interest on the construction loan. Cooper, time does. A delegation arrives in the parking lot in exactly 20 minutes. I want them to see progress. I looked down. VIP spots were empty, right under the drop zone. Global partners, Tyler corrected, sneering. Don't want them seeing idle workers while you contemplate concrete art. Speed it up. You can't speed up physics, I said, voice dropping. Rush, we get honeycomb in the concrete. Looks fine today. Cracks in 5 years. I don't care about 5 years from now, Tyler snapped. Quarterly report. Tell the pump guy to crank it. Max it out. I looked at him. Dangerous. Not tough, but ignorant. No, I said flatly. I'm the site super. Safety and quality are my calls. We pour at standard pressure or not at all. Silence from the crew. Every laborer stopped to watch. Tyler Reed was used to obedience, not a 50-something man in muddy boots telling the truth. Tyler's ego, fragile as cheap glass, couldn't handle it. He stepped closer, invading my space. You think you're untouchable because my father hired you 20 years ago, don't you, Cooper? Tyler hissed. You think you're the only one who knows how to build? I'm the only one on this roof who knows what happens when a 5-inch delivery line bursts under high pressure, I said calmly. It cuts people in half, Tyler. Literally. Stop being dramatic, he scoffed. It's just a hose. Mud. Not rocket science. That's the problem with old-timers. You treat it like sacred craft. Mudslingers. Highly paid janitors moving dirt from ground to sky. I felt heat rise in my neck. Right now, you're a mudslinger refusing a direct order. Tyler fumbled with his walkie-talkie, didn't even know the channel. Base pump truck, project manager Reed, radio silence. Matthew down in the truck wasn't going to answer him. Only me. Tyler's face turned crimson. Tell him to up the PSI to maximum flow now. I won't. Then you're fired, he spat. The words hung heavy, ridiculous. You can't fire me mid-pour? I almost laughed. Union contracts? I'm the project manager, he screamed. I have plenary authority. You're insubordinate, obstructing workflow, terminated for cause, effective immediately. Get off my site. He turned to his assistants. Call security, escort Mr. Morgan, Hand me that radio. I stood for a second, boots heavy on the rebar mesh. I looked at Asher, eyes wide with terror. Looked at the crew. They were angry, ready to walk. I shook my head. They needed hours. Fine, I said, unclipping my radio. But remember this. You ordered this. When you override safety limits on a pump with a vertical push of 300 feet, friction changes. Force mud too fast. Aggregate jams at the elbow. Get out. Tyler snatched the radio, keyed the mic. Morgan is gone. I am in charge. Crank throttle to 100%. Finish the deck in 2 hours, not 4. Do it or you're fired too. Matthew's voice returned, hesitant, static-filled. Mr. Reed, that's unsafe. Line vibrating hard already. Do it, Tyler screamed. I turned my back. If he redlines the pump, delivery hose, heavy rubber elephant trunk hanging above, becomes a lethal weapon. Clear the deck. I shouted to the crew, waving arms, walking toward the hoist. Back away, everyone to core walls. Ignore him, Tyler shouted, trying dominance. Get back to work, pour concrete. 2 security guards stepped from the elevator, apologetic. Sorry, Coop, one mumbled. It's okay, boys. Step into the cage. Wait 10 seconds before closing the door. Why? Because you'll want to see the fireworks. The elevator cage rattled down. I didn't look at the guards. Watched the world slide upward. 20 floors passed, then a low groan. Vertical pipe vibrating against brackets. Tyler forced Matthew to redline the engine. Pump shoving tons of dense wet rock up a narrow tube faster than physics allowed. Thwack. Gunshot magnified 10 times. Blockage exactly where I predicted, elbow above deck. Pressure from below didn't stop. Liquid concrete nowhere to go. Boom arm, massive hydraulic steel, buckled. Couldn't see the deck. Heard chaos, men shouting, metal screeching. Sickening whoosh as delivery hose whipped free. Stopped the car. Guard hit emergency stop. We jerked to a halt near 8th floor, street side. Gray waterfall began to descend. Not a stream. A torrent. Supply line ruptured, swung over edge like severed artery. Thousands of gallons heavy concrete spewing 30 stories down. Gravity took over. Concrete fell like hail. Heavy, destructive. Below, VIP cordon. Black luxury sedans pulling in. Oh my God, whispered the guard. First glob, 50 pounds, hit hood of lead Mercedes. Caved engine block. Like a bomb. Windshield shattered. Rest of deluge followed. Coated cabins, roofs, paint in suffocating industrial grit. Drivers scrambled, slipped, dove for cover under scaffolding. Bentley directly under mainstream. Within seconds, no longer a car, just a gray mound. Pump finally cut off. Pressure dying. Damage done. 12 cars, 3 million collectively, buried. Entrance looked like Pompeii. Radio crackled. Tyler. Voice high-pitched, hysterical. Machine broke. Why did it break? Who did this? I leaned against wire mesh, arms crossed. Not happy about destruction. Equipment ruined, dangerous for crew. But cold, hard satisfaction settled. Let's go down, I said to guard. Need to collect my tools. Coop? Lead car first crushed? That's Mr. Reed's personal Maybach. CEO pulled up. Looked down again. 20 floors up, all knee-deep in wet concrete. Shouting at sky. Owner himself. Tyler's father. Sure enough, Tyler wanted fast pour. Just set a world record. By the time the elevator hit the ground, the site was pure chaos. Air thick with alkaline stench of wet cement, shouting of panicked men in suits. Pump truck sat silent, guilty beast in the middle of carnage. Cage door rattled open. I stepped out into a scene more disaster movie than construction site. River of gray sludge flowed from ruptured line, coating everything in its path. Workers scrambled, slipping, yelling. Cooper! Tyler's voice cut through the din, sprinting toward me, face red, expensive suit splattered with concrete. Behind him, 2 security guards tried to keep pace. Sabotage! You did this! I didn't flinch, stood hands on hips, watching him unravel. Sabotage? I asked calmly. How could I sabotage a pour I was fired from before it even started? You tampered with the mix, messed with the pressure settings before leaving. Tyler screamed, shaking finger at me. My father is furious. Do you know whose cars those are? Do you know what you've done? I know exactly what happened. I told you the mix was too thick. I told you not to redline the pump. You ignored me. You fired me. Then you ordered pressure up. This is on you, Tyler. Every drop. Liar. Tyler shrieked. You're done in this town. I'm Morgan. You'll never work on a site again. Make sure of it. Get him out. He gestured wildly at the guards. They looked at me, then him, uncomfortable. "We need your badge," one said quietly. I unclipped my ID and handed it over. "Keep the vest too." I tossed the orange vest onto debris. "Don't need it." Walked toward the gate. Crew watched in silence. No jeering, no laughter. Heavy, respectful silence. They knew the score. Knew who caused this mess. "Good luck, Coop," Matthew called from cab of truck. Looked miserable. "Keep your head down, Matt," I said, not breaking stride. Past ruined luxury cars, furious investors wiping sludge from clothes, past Mr. Reed screaming into phone. Didn't look back, thought occurred. Tyler accused me of tampering. He'd try to pin it on me. Needed a scapegoat. Perfect target. Needed insurance. Truck parked 2 blocks away. Climbed in. Familiar smell of stale coffee and sawdust. Comfort. Hands shaking slightly. Adrenaline. Walked away from 20-year career. Knew Tyler wasn't done. Pulled phone. Scrolled contacts. Found one I hadn't called in years. Sam Duss. Legend in city construction circles. Apprentices together. Hauling rebar, pouring slabs. I stayed on sites. He went into regulation. Senior investigator. Department of Buildings. Picked up second ring. "Cooper Morgan, is the sky falling?" "Close enough, Sam," I said, starting engine. "Need a favor, big one. For the guy who pulled me out of collapsing trench in '98, name it. Meet at diner on 4th and Main. 30 minutes, bring laptop." 30 minutes later, sitting in booth at back of diner, nursing black coffee. Sam walked in, bureaucrat in rumpled suit and tie, hands still calloused from work. "You look like hell, Coop," he said, opening laptop. "Heard about Skyline project. Word travels fast. Pump line burst, buried fleet of Bentleys. Tyler Reed ordered pressure up on bad mix," I said, cutting to chase. "Fired me for refusing, then blue line 5 minutes later. Now blaming me." Sam raised eyebrow. "Tyler Reed? The kid? Thought his old man ran show. Old man let kid play boss. Now looking for someone to blame. Need you to pull permit records for concrete supplier on that job. Something felt off about mix, Sam. Too heavy, gritty, even for high-strength pour." Sam typed furiously, eyes scanning screen. "Skyline Tower concrete sub is Apex Aggregates. Never heard of them." "Exactly," I said. "Usually Miller or Gotham, top-tier suppliers. Tyler switched to Apex last month, said cheaper." Sam clicked more keys. "Apex Aggregates registered 3 months ago. Owner listed as Shell Company in Delaware. Supply manifest on screen. Not sourcing standard river sand. Recycled crush substrate. Demolition rubble ground to powder." My stomach dropped. "Illegal for structural columns. 0 tensile strength. Full of impurities. If that's holding up 30th floor, building's a time bomb," Sam finished. "And pump burst reason? Debris and mix. Chunks of brick, glass, maybe metal. Need proof," I said. "Sample before it sets." Sam closed laptop. Site on lockdown. Coop due already on way to issue stop work. Can't get back in. Grim smile formed. Don't need to. Know a way to get concrete out. The sun was setting when I pulled my truck into the alley behind the construction site. Police and insurance adjusters swarmed the place, but chaos worked in my favor. No one was watching the back gate used for deliveries. I called Matthew. "Matt, it's Coop. Can you talk?" "It's crazy here. They're interrogating everyone. Tyler is telling cops I put sugar in the mix to ruin the batch. Listen, Matt, I need you to do something. Is the pump truck still impounded?" "Yeah. They won't let us move it until the investigation is over." "Hopper still full of sludge." "Good. There's a cleanout port on the bottom. Can you get to it without being seen?" "Maybe." "Why?" "I need a sample, Matt. A gallon, in a clean bucket. Seal it tight. I'll meet you at the fence by the generator in 10 minutes. I waited by the chain link fence. Heart hammering. Shadows lengthened as the sun dipped below the skyline. Tyler's voice drifted from the front of the site, still shouting, blaming. 5 minutes passed, then 8. Finally, a figure appeared in the gloom. Matthew, carrying a heavy plastic bucket. He slid it under the gap in the fence. "It's heavy, Coop," he whispered. "Whatever's in there, it ain't normal concrete." "Thanks, Matt," I said, grabbing the handle. "You just saved us." "Go," he urged. "Security is coming around." I lugged the bucket back to my truck, tossed it in the passenger footwell, and sped away. I called Sam. "I got it," I said. "Where's the nearest independent testing lab?" "I know a guy in Queens who stays open late for rush jobs," Sam said. "Meet me there." The next 3 hours were spent in a sterile white lab, watching a technician run tests on the gray sludge. He crushed it, dissolved it, examined it under a microscope. Finally, the technician turned pale. You said this was from a structural column pour? Yeah, I said. 30th floor cantilever. God help them, he muttered. This isn't concrete. 40% ash and crushed drywall. Compressive strength of a graham cracker. Build a high-rise out of this. It'll last maybe a year. First high wind, heavy load, collapses. Can you print that official report? Sam asked. Already doing it, the technician said, flagging this with the state engineering board immediately. Tyler Reed didn't just try to save money. He built a death trap. And he just buried his own father's investors in the evidence, Sam said, dark smile. Ready to go to the boardroom? Ready, I said, grabbing the report. Let's crash a meeting.